or false? A social worker can ethically engage in a business partnership with a client if the client insists it will not affect their therapeutic relationship. Answer: false. Engaging in dual relationships, especially in business, with current clients can lead to conflicts of interest and impair professional judgment, violating the ethical standards set by most social work bodies. True or false? Social workers are required to discuss the limits of confidentiality with their clients as soon as possible within their professional relationship. Answer: true. It is ethically mandatory for social workers to inform clients about the limits of confidentiality to ensure informed consent and clarity about the professional relationship. True or false, it is acceptable for a social worker to accept a small gift from a client during the holidays as a gesture of appreciation. Answer: true. Accepting small, culturally appropriate gifts that do not influence the professional relationship can be acceptable, provided they adhere to the guidelines of the social worker's professional ethics and policy. True or false, social workers should always prioritize their agency's policies over the NASW Code of Ethics when a conflict arises. Answer: false. When agency policies are in conflict with the NASW Code of Ethics, social workers are encouraged to make a responsible effort to resolve the conflict and, if necessary, to adhere to the professional ethical standards. True or false, a social worker can terminate services with a client who consistently fails to pay for sessions. Answer: true. While social workers should make considerations based on clients' financial capabilities, consistent non-payment can be a valid reason for service termination, provided the client is properly informed and referred to other accessible services. True or false, social workers can ethically engage in romantic relationships with colleagues within the same practice. Answer: true. Engaging in romantic relationships with colleagues is not explicitly unethical, provided it does not affect their professional duties or create conflicts of interest. However, transparency and appropriate boundaries are crucial. True or false, a social worker should report suspected unethical behavior by a colleague based solely on hearsay, without attempting to verify the information. Answer: false. Social workers should attempt to verify such allegations first before reporting. Reporting based solely on hearsay can lead to unjust outcomes and violates ethical reporting practices. True or false, social workers are allowed to provide services to individuals they have previously supervised. Answer: false. Providing services to former supervisees can create role conflicts and potentially exploit the power differential that existed, which is generally considered unethical. True or false, a social worker can refuse to provide services to a client whose values are diametrically opposed to their own. Answer: false. Social workers are expected to provide services without discrimination and to manage their personal values so as not to interfere with their professional practice. True or false, it is ethical for a social worker to advocate for policy changes that would benefit their client population, even if these changes might negatively impact another group. Answer: true. Advocating for policy changes to benefit clients is a part of ethical practice in social work, even if there are potential negative impacts on others, provided the advocacy is done responsibly and ethically. True or false, social workers can use client information for research or educational purposes without consent if the information is anonymized. Answer: false. Even when data is anonymized, the NASW Code of Ethics requires social workers to obtain informed consent before using client information for research or educational purposes. ensuring respect for client privacy and autonomy. True or false, social workers are obligated to continue providing services to a client if no other service providers are available, even if the client consistently violates boundaries. Answer: false. Social workers can terminate services if a client repeatedly violates boundaries, risking the therapeutic process. They should attempt to address these issues and seek alternative referrals when possible.
Hey, let's take a break. I know you've been grinding for hours, which might actually be hurting your ability to retain information. Yeah, science says so. So here's a reminder. Step away for a minute. But wait, do you know that I got tools designed to help you study smarter? I'm talking about my 150 question online practice exam so you can test yourself before the real thing, and my 150 social work practice question ebook, as well as my exclusive activity e-workbook that makes studying interactive instead of just reading notes. Because let's be real, just reading the material isn't enough. You need to know how to apply it. So while you're taking that much needed break, check them out. Your future licensed self will thank you. Links are in the description. Now go take that break.
True or false, a social worker can share information about a client with a colleague in a different agency without client consent if the purpose is for professional consultation. Answer: false. Sharing client information for consultation purposes requires client consent, even if it's with another professional, to uphold confidentiality. True or false, it is ethical for social workers to use client stories as examples in public speeches if the details are altered to prevent identification. Answer: false. Even with altered details, using client stories without explicit consent risks confidentiality and may inadvertently reveal identifiable information. True or false, social workers are allowed to provide services via online platforms to clients located in a state where the social worker is not licensed, provided the service is temporary. Answer: false. Social workers must adhere to licensure requirements of the state where the client is located, regardless of the service's duration. True or false, social workers should decline to provide a reference for a colleague whose work performance they cannot vouch for, even if declining could harm their professional relationship. Answer: true. Ethical integrity requires social workers to provide honest and substantiated references. Providing a misleading reference is unethical. True or false, if a social worker inadvertently receives confidential information about a client they do not serve, they are required to discuss this breach with their supervisor. Answer: true. Discussing unintended receipt of confidential information with a supervisor ensures proper handling of the data and maintains ethical standards. True or false, a social worker can serve on the board of a nonprofit organization that is also a major funder of the social worker's employer. Answer: false. Serving in such dual roles can lead to a conflict of interest, impacting the social worker's objectivity and professional responsibilities. I hope you found this video super enlightening and a big boost for your understanding of the social work license exam questions. If you're craving more tools and support to ace that exam, don't miss out. Head over to our website at gilbertandbell.com right now. I've got everything you need, from in-depth study sessions to practice exams, all designed to help you cross the finish line and get your license. And hey, if you're on the go, just shoot a quick text with the word study to 347-6837923. Hurry, these resources won't study themselves.